Hey there guys, what's going on today? PMKF30 here with another review video for you. This is going to be, I don't want to drag this on too long, and most of you people who watch my videos, excuse me, who already follow comics, DC especially, and darker stories especially, you probably are already aware of this, but pretty much these are my monthly comics, and the month ain't over yet because this is Villains Month. For those of you who follow comics for DC Universe, pretty much Trinity War. That's the cover for Trinity War right there. That was an event, as most of you know, who follow and read comics. Character Pandora, many years ago, she was, cursed with immortality by the gods, pretty much, and the different, the seven sinful gods, and she thought that this little skull that she was carrying around was, if that was extinguished and destroyed, and somebody was able, pure hard enough to, like Superman, but even he wasn't, it's, when you read it, it's like, oh, okay, he's not even worthy of holding it. She thought that pretty much somebody that was really uber good, if you could hold it, you could, it would release the sins from the earth, but, and also help her out. That wasn't the case. It turned out to be a trick. It turned out that that skull was actually a key to another dimension, being Earth 3. From the Outsider / Alfred from Earth 3, helping his group conquer the main Earth of the New 52, which would be the Crime Syndicate. So, yeah, big spoiler there if you guys didn't know that. Anyway, so since the Crime Syndicate happened, they decided to have Forever Evil being the follow-up event to Trinity War. And this is Forever Evil. This had several covers, variants, and such. I tried to get black and white and a few others, but they're just so hard to get. And if you could find them, they're like a couple $100 a piece. Pretty ridiculous. But that's like the hardcore collectors, So it's pretty cool. It's got all the, the baddies, or most baddies, from, DC Universe. And that says Meet the New World Order. I do have one variant cover of this series. Issue 1, I should say. Yeah, and that's Owlman. There's a couple out there. If you check it out online, there's one of Superwoman, there's one of Ultraman, etc. Different ones. So yeah. So this pretty much explains what happened to the Justice League. It ends how, they had a traitor called Atomica working for the Justice League of America on Earth, on the New 52 Earth. And turns out she was a traitor of the Mole, and Superman accidentally killed Dr. Light, which is revealed reason why is because Atomica, as based off the atom, she could grow smaller or larger, alter the properties level, her own body, pretty much. So she shrunk so small during the fight that she stuck a little shot of kryptonite in Superman's head, literally hitting the nerve that literally causes his heat vision. And being as how it's kryptonite, obviously he can, resist it. So, anyhow, that shot created a blast from his heat vision, instantly vaporizing Dr. Light. So, they pretty much framed Superman in a very precise, evil way. So, pretty much what it came through is everybody had a lust for the skull, in a way, which they really didn't explain that throughout. They could explain that a little better, I thought, but pretty much the Justice League, everyone was like attracted to it and having it, and thinking that they were the best way to release the evil, etc. All it did was really cause a diversion, and the Outsider / Alfred from Earth 3 helping the Crime Syndicate for Owlman instead of Batman. He had it, and he opened it, and with that, as he opened it, he opened the doorway to Earth 3, and then boom, the Crime Syndicate comes out. So they pretty much they have Earth under their control now, and they're telling the current villains that we all know, to join them or perish, more or less. And one guy is even skeptical. He says, "Oh, that's Superman in a different costume. They're even similar looking, And they're like, "No, that's not Superman." So the one guy speaks out, and Ultraman literally vaporizes him with his heat vision. So others are like instantly aware, like, that's not Superman. He'd never do that. So yeah, pretty cool first issue. And then Lex is like, "Okay, where the hell is Superman? Where's the Justice League?" Because they're saying pretty much it ends how they're saying that the Crime Syndicate's claiming that the Justice League is dead, which we all know can't be true. They're probably given the end of Trinity War and the beginning of Forever Evil. I get the feeling that they just beat him up a little bit and pretty much just trapped him in exile on their planet, Earth 3. That's my guess. That's a lot of people's theories, but obviously, hopefully, as the series progresses, more will be revealed. So, yeah. So this is a new monthly series events. I believe there's 7 issues, 6 or 7 issues. So this is September's. Really awaiting for October's and November, December, January, etc. So yeah, and hopefully the Justice League will pop up again. I really want to see the Justice League pop up and fight this Crime Syndicate. That would be awesome. So yeah. But right now, also, there's a good reason for that, because I was just curious, went on Comic Vine, and they have, worldwide stats. Pretty much, the top events in comics right now is Forever Evil being the #1 spot, selling way more than Marvel's events right now, which is Infinity, with Thanos, taking over Earth while the heroes are trying to, while they're away, and X-Men. And then there's also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so, yeah. Pretty much those are the hot comics right now, but Forever Evil's selling great, I think it was 44% to 23%, DC over Marvel, so yeah, it's doing pretty good right now. And so if you're a comic guy, and I gotta say, the Villains Month, which also, is simultaneous with the Forever Evil coming out, pretty much this month with the regular series, focusing on some of their their foes. Like Batman, they had ventriloquist. Batman, as we all know, has a ton. This girl with, who I wasn't too aware of, because I don't really read every single Batman, but I know Batman, obviously. I just, there are so many, he's got so many, his role gallery is just huge. So, got the ventriloquist. This little girl and her brother, apparently, when she was growing up, she was jealous of her brother. He was always, making it big, and she was always the second child looked upon, etc. So, pretty much he winds up dying, falling off a swing, and, yeah, she finds this dummy that's I don't know, exactly all the history behind it, but in the New 52 is this clown, apparently, that has, that's with him, and he's telling her not to take him. And he's tempting her, and she takes him, apparently. So they're friends, and he's alive on his own, and yeah, she's just a twisted character, pretty much, Solomon Grundy, this is from Earth 2. As we all know, very similar to the regular Solomon Grundy. Even making the quotes that they put in Injustice, with the whole "born on a Monday, christened on Tuesday," blah blah blah. But yeah, this Solomon Grundy is different though than that one, in the respect of this guy has powers, as in instant regenerative powers. There's even one spot where I think somebody blows him up, and he's just reforming in the dirt. It's pretty cool character. I like him. And the Green Lantern from Earth 2 already, and the Wonders already, which is pretty much the Justice League of the Earth 2 universe, they already defeated him. I believe he defeated him by tossing him into space. Don't mind that, it's my phone. Someone sent me a text message. And pretty much, once he threw him into space, he was exiled or gone temporarily. And then the beginning of this issue, you see him storm back onto Earth. So I'm pretty sure that's current time, because I think they say current time. And it's not a prequel like some of these other characters. It's a prequel, kind of what happened, how did they become that, beforehand. So I'm really looking forward to that. Lobo. what do you call it? By the way, let me give you, if I had to rate this, I would rate this, the ventriloquist, well, 10 minutes already, okay. I would rate this issue, 8 out of 10. You know, not a lot of action, you know, obviously no one really with superpowers, you know, more like supernatural stuff going on. And just a weird chick, what do you call it? You know, definitely darker, but that's Batman's voice, so. Earth 2 Grundy, I thought this was explained pretty cool, you know, in a way, you know, more, like, it also covers his backstory, kind of like a Flash thing, you know, apparently he was this farmer guy, so yeah, yeah, I'd rate this a 9 out of 10. Forever Evil, 10 out of 10, just because of how great it was. I mean, I loved it. A lot of people, like, you know, gave it good reviews, Comic Vine, Comic Resources, etc., you know, many other comic sites out there, professional comic sites. And just has cool variant covers. I only wish I could get the other ones, you know, like the Ultraman and Superwoman one. This is another one now. Now this, I'm curious as to when DC will confirm that this will be canon or not to the actual, the rest of the, because it doesn't say New 52 on it. So I'm guessing this is just like a non-canon event, like a crossover for the hell of it, kind of like the DC vs. Marvel. But canon or not, this is really cool. You know, it's going to be I believe a 5-issue miniseries or 6-issue, and this is issue 1, and really cool, very good. I mean, brought back memories of me seeing Masters of the Universe, the cartoon, and also the, you know, the movie with Dolph Lundgren way back in the 80s. So yeah, it mixed with DC Universe, you know. So apparently they're both written by DC now, or owned by DC. So, Masters, more so, DC, you know, Superman, Justice League has always been, but I'm saying, what do you call it? Masters of the Universe, apparently under the rights of DC now, and pretty good, I gotta say, it's pretty neat. They're pretty much hunting Skeletor down, you know, fighting evil, and, he somehow comes to DC Earth. And Skeletor is like doing his homework on, oh, who's the threat on this world, you know, the protector, blah blah blah. And he's got like a little informant helping him out, you know, telling him one of his lieutenants or people, some chick that he's just like, oh yeah, you know, filling him in like, oh, Superman, you know, Batman. They call themselves the Justice League, and they're like, he's like, the Justice League, you know, and he's like, yeah, you know. And so yeah, and apparently he's going after Constantine because Constantine is, as we all know, magic. So he really actually doesn't see the mainstream Justice League guys as a threat, at least given this first issue. But he sees like more of the, you know, the magic users as more of a threat, and he plans on getting, you know, buddy with Constantine apparently. So, you know, spoilers if you haven't read it. You know, some people don't, not a lot of people are even talking about it, so, you know, I figured, what the hell. So, yeah, that's good, though. I mean, if you guys like He-Man and you like Justice League Universe, this is a good clash, good mix-up, you know, I really can't wait to see, you know, what happens, you know, if they fight each other, they're probably going to fight each other, I'd imagine, and then team up against Skeletor, and Skeletor is probably going to, like, contact Darkseid or somebody, who knows, I don't know, but, I can't wait, and I rate this 9 out of 10. I would have given it a 10 out of 10, but due to lack of action, understandable. It's the first issue, so it's explaining a lot. You know, Lobo, Justice League. Now, Lobo, apparently it's revealed that the real Lobo, at least I think, because I haven't really been following, you know, I think he was, what is it? Trying to think of what that series is. I don't know if it's the Rogues or... See, I haven't followed Lobo in the New 52 that much. I'm familiar with the character, and I know who he is, you know, the bounty hunter, you know, destroyed his whole race, etc., etc. You know, he's a mercenary, and he's immortal. But yeah, apparently the Lobo in this issue is claiming who looks like a younger Lobo. Nothing like the Rob Zombie, as I like to call it, looking Lobo. You know, pretty much... He's claiming that the Lobo that has been in the New 52 has been an imposter. So, and whether or not that's true, I'm not sure because, like I said, out of fairness, I haven't been reading the current Lobo series or the team that he's on and whatnot. I can't remember even the name of it because, like I said, I don't follow it. So I'm curious about that. See where that's going to head. Where that's headed. This issue was more of an explanation thing rather than an action, but it had its moments. Pretty brutal though. He's like decapitates, a couple of people, slices people in half, stuff like that. So yeah, I would give this issue a 7 out of 10. Next, Superman Action Comics Zod 1. This one is pretty much, I really liked it a lot. A lot of movie influences and old school comic influence kind of merge into like an updated version, in my opinion. Because if you read this issue, you'll get a lot of like Man of Steel vibes to it. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, it's pretty much, they're fighting the Shar, another like reptilian race on Krypton, and Zod pretty much kills his own father, which is a big like wow, at the end of the issue, as like a survival instinct type of thing, And aside from the fact that he's like, like this militant leader, and he's colonel to general, etc., and the rest is all history, that most people know. He's he used to be friendly with Jor-El and Zor-El, and then disagrees with them, and then they decide they capture him, and they decide to put him in the Phantom Zone, and then it sets it up for him saying, oh, I'm a monster, and monsters are the reason why people exist, because it forces them to do things, to put their foot down, etc., etc. So, and pretty much it sets it up for him to fight, to escape the Phantom Zone and fight Superman. So yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with that. Hopefully they bring Zod back, and his costume even looks very reminiscent of like a combination of like the movie with the comic with a hint of Injustice. Because if you look at his beard, Injustice, he looks like that in Injustice. He's got like this fancy, shark cut look to his face. So yeah, I kind of like that. And you see Superman in the background, looks like some sort of kryptonite suit that he's, I don't know, Superman's on the issue. I mean, well, he is, but not like that. You kind of see Superman like, as him all grown up, because they tell you the story of, baby Superman, before they send him off and before Krypton's doomed and blows up, etc. So yeah, that's cool. I give that issue, by the way, a 9 out of 10. Killer Frost. This one surprised me. This is Justice League of America. I thought I'd be like, I thought it would be a boring issue, but I actually thought it was really interesting. It explains more to her backstory. It was an accident. These guys, they pretty much tried to kill her because she knows too much information, and yeah, they pretty much kill her. Except she's not dead. They actually she actually kind of mutated her into this by accident, and as payback, she kills all of them, and realizes the only way she could be human again is by altering her molecular structure again to stay warm. That's why she's got to kill people. So, and she runs into Firestorm and realizes that he's the key. The way he's made up his genetic code, she feels he's the key for her becoming human again. And as you all know, Firestorm was a part of the Justice League that recently got quote-unquote killed by the crime syndicate, or banished, or whatever the hell happened to them. So she's like, she thinks all hope is lost, because the beginning part tells her, beforehand what happened to her, and then it zooms, fast forwards to the current situation in comics, crime syndicate, and she's not pleased with it. She actually runs away from the crowd because she figures, oh great, if the Justice League and Firestorm are dead, then what hope does she have of becoming normal again? So I like this issue a lot. I give it a 10 out of 10 because it was very well written, I thought. And I'm not even a Killer Frost fan. I don't use her in Injustice. Never been I'm more of a Sub-Zero type of, Mr. Freeze type of guy, if you ask me, as far as characters. Even Ice to a point, but I kind of like this backstory of her. I thought it was kind of interesting. So yeah. Darkseid, Justice League, Darkseid 1. More or less, this just gives you, when he was Utas, however you pronounce it, before he was a god, and his backstory, he was like always, like screw the gods, it's all survival of the fittest type of attitude, and, way back in his world, he pretty much killed the gods, it kind of reminded me a little bit of the whole Clash of the Titans thing, where apparently the more they pray to these gods, the powerful they become. So, and they didn't do that. So he killed them all. And they were fighting each other in a war, and he was weak, and he killed them all, and he took their power. And the rest is history, and he became Darkseid. So, decided conquering worlds, one after the other, until he bumped into Earth, and the Justice League, as you know, when they first fought him, like a few years ago, they defeated him. So, yeah, that's his story. So I give this like a 9 out of 10. Pretty cool Darkseid, story. Deadshot, he's... another one like Killer Frost, I liked it more, Justice League of America. Deadshot 1. Kind of like, normally I just felt he was a dull character, kind of like a, another Deathstroke type of character, but he's actually nothing like that. He's, his family got brutally murdered, and he was the only survivor, so he took the gun, and he pretty much, just started practicing what he's known for, great marksmanship, marksman, and decided to become a mercenary for hire. So whoever pays him the largest amount of money, he'll kill anybody pretty much. And he puts his signature on the bullets too. So, I thought that was kind of cool. I give this one like an 8 out of 10. Surprised me though. This one's Desaad. We all know, one of Darkseid's minions. Pretty much just a typical story of Desaad. I was actually a little disappointed with this issue, but it wasn't bad. I give it a 7 out of 10. Pretty much it, just goes until like, what feeds his power, and how he's trying to get back to, his world, and he thinks Darkseid's betrayed him possibly, and he's not sure, so it's like, it seems a little random almost with him, I don't know, but I liked it. It wasn't too bad, it wasn't bad. It wasn't my favorite of the bunch, by no means, but I gave it a 7 out of 10. Cyborg Superman. This one, I thought I was gonna be like, yeah, because I'm like, alright, I can, sure, but spoiler, it's not him. It is not the same Cyborg Superman. This is totally different Cyborg Superman. It turns out that this is actually Jor-El's brother and Superman's uncle, Zor-El. So yeah, it's a long story. Pretty much Brainiac finds him though, and he just transforms him into the quote-unquote perfect Kryptonian. So yeah. And it's like he's a different, it's pretty brutal, too, for a Superman comic. Like, you see Brainiac taking out his eyeballs, like ripping off his flesh, his limbs. It's pretty nasty. And making him robotic, cybernetic here. So, yeah, I thought it was definitely more of a darker tone and a good spin on an old character. Hank Henshaw was kind of cool, but I don't know. I think I actually like the new Zor-El Cyborg Superman more, to be honest, because he's got more of a connection to Supergirl and Superman, being technically related to them. So, yeah, I like that. That surprised me, so I give this issue a 9 out of 10. And then you got Bizarro. Superman Bizarro. Based off like because there's many versions of Bizarro, but it's based off Lex's, where he takes Superman's Krypton DNA and tries to merge with human, and it fails, experiments after failure after failure. And the latest failure, he gets closer. Apparently, the more, like, he learns a few things from it and realizes that, apparently he's this close to making the perfect Superman clone that could hopefully obey him. And it pretty much teases how this is the actual real Bizarro's hinted at the end of the issue. So I'll be keeping an eye on that, It was okay, more of a explanation, story-based arc than action-based. And as you know, similar powers, but a little different. He could freeze, his freezy eyes, freeze vision and heat breath, as opposed to Superman with, frost breath and heat vision. So, yeah, I'd rate this, I guess I would say an 8 out of 10. So yeah, that's my reviews for my comics this month so far. I plan on doing more once I get next week and the week after. And September ends, and reviewing more from Villains Month. So yeah, can't go wrong with DC Comics right now. Just comment, rate, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it if you've checked out this long, the entire video, 24 minutes. So yeah, okay, later, bye.